So today, May 11th, I shot 40 rounds of the 100 precision, 178 grain 100 precision ammo. When we look at it, you can see the round count. Then you can see the average kinetic energy. You can use that to compare with other bullet weights and bullet types on which one's offering the most power when it hits something. The average feet per second, 2584. You have spread. For this factory ammo, it was 71.4. The standard deviation was 19.8. And then I have my minimum and my maximum velocities. And then the session goes through all my individual shots. Every individual shot is in there. And as I'm shooting and reviewing the footage on the YouTube video, if I want to see, what shot 3, 4, and 5, maybe those were at the 300, and I want to see what the deviation was or difference in velocities by the shot. It can kind of tell me, if one bullet was a little bit low from my point of aim, maybe it had a slower velocity. So it's helpful to be able to do that. Obviously, the biggest thing about knowing velocities for me is when I use my ballistics calculator. I use geoballistics, and maybe I'll do a little short video on that too while I'm letting copper solvent do its work. Now, if we look at my average, 2584.9, that's my average with the factory load. And then I go back to the 27th, that's the kinetic, 2552.9. So it's pretty close in feet per second. Now, these 16 shots were Varget, and I actually didn't load them with a max load of 42.4. But if I had loaded them with 42.4, they'd be about the same or faster. But one thing that I find interesting and pleased to see, when you look at my spread, from what I've looked at, a good spread with hand loading would be below 50. So I'm below 50 on hand loading. When you look at the standard deviation, my understanding a good standard deviation is below 10. So I still have a little bit of work to do in the standard deviation area. I would like to see my spread smaller, but what I'm pleased about is when you look at the difference between factory ammo and my hand loads, I'm doing better on spread and standard deviation. So I am happy about that. So I'm going to continue using my Garmin as I continue with load development leading up to this year's season. And I'm starting to feel pretty confident with my own hand loads and what I'm able to do with them as far as accuracy and consistency. So that's how I use the Garmin C1 when I'm doing my hand loads or firing factory ammunition. It gives you really good information to develop historical data on what you're doing with your reloading or your shooting of factory loads, and it gives you also good data on what your average velocities are so you can do proper inputs in your ballistics calculator. All right, cool.